Thank you. It's a great pleasure to be here. And even though I'm Finnish, I will be speaking in English. I'm actually Swedish speaking, so this is easier for me. One of the great things about academia is that you can choose your language often. So I'm going to talk about perspectives from the viewpoint of a physicist, going from astronomy to nuclear materials, completely different things, but from the outside view, they're all physics. So a little bit about me first professionally. I did my master's and my PhD at the University of Helsinki in the Department of Physics. I spent a year in the UK as a Eurofusion Research Fellow. Part of a career in academia is that one does have to go abroad. By this time, I already had a kid, and it comes with its challenges, but I made it work. Then I did a few years as an academy postdoctoral fellow. This was also done at the University of Helsinki in the same lab that I had graduated from. I did do a short visit to California during this time. And then in the middle of COVID, in 2021, I came to Aalto as an assistant professor, where I started my own group. And this past summer, I was finally tenured. So finally, a contract that didn't have an end date. This is one of the maybe struggles as well in academia. One has to live with a certain amount of uncertainty. But during the years and considering my other options, I came to the conclusion that the same uncertainty is everywhere else as well. You might have a job that doesn't have an end date, but you might want to leave. It might not be great. It might end for other reasons. The company can crash. Things happen. So life is full of uncertainties. They're really concrete in academia, but they exist everywhere else as well. So how did I get here? Well, school, training, any education kind of teaches us that we have to have a goal. We need to set a strategy to reach that goal, and ideally optimize time usage to reach the goal quickly as well. Well, it wasn't like that at all. So during my, life, I've had many thoughts of what do I want to be when I grow up. Never did I really know. When I was younger, I was thinking, oh, a teacher. I wonder how many of us in this room at some point wanted to be a teacher, being the first sort of profession that one actually sees as a kid. Later on, I decided, oh, no, teacher, I want to be a chemist. Well, that wasn't so surprising because my mom was a chemist. She worked in a lab and it was really cool. As I grew older, I started to be more independent and I thought that, oh, well, architecture seems really exciting. But it required drawing, and I was told that to get in, you had to be really, really, really good at drawing. I figured I'm probably not good enough. Maybe it has something to do with being a girl, I don't know, but I listened to the naysayers. Anyway, during high school, I started to realize that space is really, really fascinating, and actually not just space, but the universe. I wanted to know about the origins of the universe. So this was the time when high school ended and I needed to decide what to do. I had always loved maths. I didn't like physics too much. And I decided that I will go to the university and study astronomy because it's not physics. It uses math, and I'll probably learn about the origins of the universe. Well, it turned out that the astronomy department at the University of Helsinki didn't actually study the origins of the universe, but more sort of the stars and near space. And I realized that, well, the origins of the universe, cosmology and stuff, this is at the Department of Physics. So I ended up changing my major, decided that, okay, I can deal with physics if I get to study the universe. So I changed to theoretical physics. I still didn't know what I wanted to be when I grew up. In fact, I even applied for astronaut position at ESA. Not the latest call that they had, but the one before. During the latest one, I was too old already. I actually got this close, but this was before I had the kid. And after I became a mother, I realized that thank God I didn't get that job because I would never have wanted to spend that much time away from home later. So we always have this balance, I guess, as women, as possibly sometimes mothers. The choices that we make affect how we can sort of be with the family. Well, in the end, this path led me to where I am now, a physicist. Computational physics, I use computers, and I basically study materials, how they behave with these computers. So, what is life like then in my job? Well, I am a researcher, and as a researcher, I get to decide the focus of my research. I do what I want, but it's not that simple. I can do what I want, provided that I can motivate it well enough to convince somebody else to fund the project. So there's full freedom in a sense, but there's a huge amount of uncertainty as well. And the ideas that I have, the things I want to do, they have to be motivated in the big picture. And I also have to manage to explain this. Well, to me, research is incredibly exciting, incredibly rewarding, and stimulating. It's exciting when I'm on the brink of a new discovery. Our heart beats fast, a bit sweaty, things, tingling body. It's really exciting. And it happens now and then, definitely not all the time. But it can be very, very rewarding when efforts pay off, results are obtained. It's great. But also when colleagues, collaborators that I find around the world, because again, it's sort of self-driven. I go and make contacts where I want to. And when these people end up becoming real friends, this is the best. But also now in later stages, when I'm a senior researcher, I have students. One of the most rewarding is seeing the students learn and grow. It's also stimulating because there are always new things to learn also for me. It's never done. Every day I learn something new. Well, life as a teacher then. I'm also a teacher. In the end, teaching is a creative process if we really apply ourselves, because everybody learns different, and finding that way of explaining to somebody that helps them get it, well, it's quite creative in the end. And the best reward, of course, of teaching is seeing when the students have their eureka moments, when they really understand after a difficult topic that I've tried to explain in one way, in another way, in a third way, and then they get it. And it's just wonderful. Also, the other side of teaching, not just classroom teaching, but supervising that one does in this job, so supervising master's and bachelor's thesis and also doctoral thesis, is of course always interesting. And sometimes I learn as much as a student, especially when they choose topics that aren't my exact specialty. And finally, life as a leader, or concretely a group leader. Well, now that I have my group, I have responsibility for somebody else besides myself. In this position, sometimes I have to pretend more confidence than I have. But, well, that's just one of the sides of these jobs. And again, I don't know if it's because I'm a woman or not and feel that maybe, am I quite up to this? Sometimes one just pretends and gets past it. The most rewarding as a leader is when I learn that I really have helped somebody, that my support has really helped somebody when they have needed it. And this happens, and it's very rewarding. On the other hand, sometimes I don't sleep at night because of the pressure. Things are on me, and sometimes that's really difficult. But then again, that's when it becomes most rewarding, when things work out, sometimes even better than expected. So it's ups and downs. It's a lot of responsibility, but it's still great. So life as a professor, well, all of those. I'm a researcher, I'm a teacher, I'm a leader. Life as a professor is all of that and so much more that I can't even really begin to say. Thank you for your attention.